We need to practice what we preach. The sin that we need to avoid is the sin of hypocrisy. Now, a hypocrite in the ancient world is somebody that would take a mask and put it over their face in the plays. So, as they would do the dramas and as they would do the plays, you would have a couple actors playing different parts. And in order to differentiate what part and role they were playing, they would have a mask in front of them. That is a hypocrite, somebody that puts the mask over their face. So, does that make you understand when we use the modern day hypocrite? What we're saying is that you're wearing a mask. You're a fake. You're saying one thing, but underneath the mask, you are totally different. You are not that character. You are playing a role. And the way to avoid being hypocrites like the Pharisees and the scribes, the way to avoid that is to practice what we preach. So we have now entered into this great condemnation of Jesus on the religious leaders. This is called the seven woes. We're not going to see a woe yet, but in the coming chapters, we continue to read, Jesus is just pounding and pounding and pounding the religious leaders. And in particular, this is important for us to know as Bible believing Christians, he is pounding the conservative wing of the not of the church, but of the Jewish party, because in their conservatism, they are being hypocrites. They're speaking conservative, Bible believing positions. So when I say conservative, I'm not speaking politically like in our Republican, Democrat, or whatever. I'm speaking like you're preserving what is old. You're preserving tradition. You're preserving what has gone on before you. So the Pharisees were definitely of the conservative side. They believed the Bible and they believed the whole thing, whereas the Sadducees only were holding on to the first five books of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Pharisees held the whole thing. And of course, scribes, they loved the Bible, right? They copied the thing. So they loved it. And now Jesus is going to pound on who we would think would potentially be the heroes. But Jesus then reveals that they have a mask, but under their mask, they might be speaking good, godly things, but in reality, underneath, they're fakes, they're hypocrites. So let's read these woes. I'll give you a flavor of what's coming. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples. So he's talking it to both. Remember, Matthew loves to talk about the crowds and disciples, those that are following after Jesus, and those that are outside the kingdom but are benefiting from his teachings, benefiting from the miracles. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. That is, they are sitting in the seat of judgment. So, since they are sitting in Moses' seat and they're teaching you from the Bible, do and observe whatever they tell you, but not the works they do. They're speaking it because they're actually using the Bible and they're teaching you good things, but don't you dare follow them. Because he says, for they preach, but do not practice. And here's what they do. Jesus expands this for us. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on people's shoulders. So they're saying, we've got to do this. You got to do that. So it's very heavy, and remember, Jesus says, come to him because his yoke is easy and his burden is light. But the Pharisaical legalists are going to be putting these heavy burdens on you, but they themselves are not willing to move them with their fingers. So they're making everybody like be all hunched over, carrying all these heavy weights and doing all these heavy things, but they're not even willing to use their little finger to pick up something. Verse 5, they do all their deeds to be seen by others. So they're doing all of their good deeds so that other people will see them and clap for them and say, oh, look at how wonderful they are. They love the applause of people, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. So the phylacteries would be, they would actually take a piece of the Torah, the first five books of the Bible, and they would put it on their wrists, or they'd put it on their head, following one of the commands in Deuteronomy. And so they would make sure that they would have a big box on their hands or a big box on their heads, showing that they are truly, they are truly followers of Jesus. They got a big old box on their head because they got a big piece of Torah on their head. Verse 6, they love the place of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues. Oh, look at the preachers. Oh, look at them. They're so wonderful. They love it. They eat it up. I say, oh, I love it. In verse 7, and greetings in the marketplace and being called rabbi by others. Oh, teacher, you're so good. They love it. They eat it up. They say, give me more, give me more. So here is my journal entry. I hope you've read ahead and I hope you came up with your own journal entry. But here it is, my scriptural insight. We are to practice what we preach. If you are going to be a conservative Bible believing Christian in the sense of that we want to hold to the good traditions. Now we know there are bad traditions that need to be done away with, but the good solid traditions of the saints of old, we are tied to the everlasting rock. That's what we're anchored to. So we need to make sure as we seek to dig into this word that Central Baptist Church, that our reputation, that your pastor's reputation will be that we practice what we preach. So we got to go on to. And so here's my prayer. Father, forgive me for when I played the hypocrite, that I've been that I have taught, or that I have said we need to do this, but then I've not followed up with exactly doing that myself. Forgive me for that. Help me to do better. The application. Here's a sin for you to avoid. Ask why you do the good things you do. Do you want the applause? Do you want the best seats in the marketplace? Or are you doing it? Are you okay not getting the recognition? Do you need the recognition? Because if you do, then you've lost your reward. Jesus says that elsewhere. Are you okay if no one knows the good works you do? Remember, Jesus said the greatest commandment is to love God and love your neighbor. Are you going to do that even if nobody else sees it? Pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video as we continue to against the Pharisees and the scribes.